it's me, Babe VT here, and welcome back to another video. Alright, everybody, so as you can tell from the title of this video, this is a Q&A video, and I'm using Talonian for my questions. Okay, so I have a lot of questions, and rather than splitting them in half, I thought that for my first Q&A, I'll do ones that were aligned with relationship questions. So let's get into it. Okay, so first question. Are you afraid of dating and why? I actually wouldn't say I'm afraid of dating. I think I'm more cautious because I know what I want and I know what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for somebody to actually get serious with and settle down with in the future. I'm not looking to play games. I'm not looking to be like, oh, well, you know, it's just an online fling. Like, bro, I'm a human being and so are you, and I'm not playing with no hearts and you're not playing with mine. When it comes to dating, since it wasn't really super specific, I know that some people have two different definitions of dating and what that means. And so when it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend, like actual labels, I would say that I've, as an adult, only ever officially had two boyfriends in my life and been in two serious relationships. When it comes to talking and being interested in somebody and getting to know them, I've had more than two. I genuinely can't count because I don't have like a number. But that doesn't mean I slept around. That doesn't mean I went smooching and perooching all around town. It just meant that I was talking to them. All right, next question. Do you have a crush? Well, I can't confirm or deny. I think I just did, right? All right. Next question is, has anyone ever broken your heart? Yeah, of course they have. It was and wasn't a mutual breakup. It was me who broke up with them. But I felt like we were growing to be unhealthy for each other, and I could see that, and so I felt like, as sad as it was and as much as I loved that person, it wasn't good to continue a relationship because I felt like eventually it was going to get worse. And it was heartbreaking for me because this person I was engaged to, but he had a lot of internal demons that he was battling. Okay, this one isn't necessarily love, but it kind of is in a way. It says, tell me about the meaning of one of your tattoos. So part of one of the meanings of my tattoos, and I'm talking about my IRL tattoo, is my thigh tattoo. My IRL thigh tattoo has sunflowers and a dream catcher on it. And the sunflowers, I got them when my grandmother died. And my grandmother would not be approving of my tattoos at all. She would actually be very upset with me. But the sunflowers were representative of her and myself. And it's because I loved sunflowers, and she also, come to find out, loved sunflowers. So the sunflowers on my tattoo remind me of her, and they also remind me of the sun, and both of those things make me smile and happy, so I got sunflowers on my thigh. So it's kind of like love because she was like a second mom to me. So when she passed during COVID, it was kind of hard. Okay. Next question. What eye color do you think is the prettiest? I hands down, I think brown is the prettiest color. I would say that like hazel would be a strong contender as well, but brown, I'm just a sucker for brown eyes. All right, next question. Personality or looks? Personality, hands down. If I was to show pictures, which I don't have, but if I was to show pictures of like my past relationships, you would see like an overwhelming amount of just differentiality. Is that a word? You would see an overwhelming amount of diversity of men that I've talked to and dated. No one is the same. Like, you know how, I guess how to say this. You know how how when you see somebody, or if you know somebody who gets into a relationship and then they break up and then they're in another relationship, where whatever time that may be, you kind of start to see that there's a pattern in like the person they're dating. That's not me. You could see where, okay, say for example, I could be dating an anime like nerd, long hair, in the face, emo style guy. We break up. The next time I'm dating somebody who is, he technically was close to people in a gang, by the way. These are actual people I've dated. He had a lot of tattoos, really short hair, wore glasses, into being fit and the gym. Astronomically different guys. So yeah, I don't do looks. Looks are like, I say, the last thing that I go for. I've talked to guys who pretty boys, and I'm doing a lot of the work in the personality department, and it's like, bruh, you gotta give me something. And I think it's crazy because it almost makes it seem like they're expecting their looks to get them somewhere, and it's like, dude, I'm talking, I don't even know anything about you. You're like giving me no sustenance. Like, this is not going anywhere. Next question. Have you ever cried because of love? Well, yeah, who hasn't? Especially at my age. Do you think finding true love online is actually possible? I think so. I've seen so many people online and known some people in person who have dated and met each other online and are either still dating, they now live together, and they are married. Some are married, some aren't. Some even have kids. So I think it's possible. I think though too, I think it's understanding that the person that you are interested in that is online, that they have the intention to want to build a life with you, and that it's not just something online. But also with the intention that eventually you guys would have a plan to actually meet in person. All right, next question. Do you think it's okay to date more than one person at a time? If you're asking me, in my opinion, I'm gonna say no. I think if you're talking to somebody, and I mean like talking, I think that you should be talking to just that one person that you're interested in. I think that you shouldn't talk to anybody else either. But that's just my opinion. Again, others can feel however they want, but that's my opinion. Next question, super easy. Love or fame? Love, always. Okay, so this is a type of love. So if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, do you have a best friend? Consider becoming an Alabro and subscribe to my channel. In real life, I don't, and I don't think I have one in a VTuber space either. And I'll explain both. For real life, I don't have one because growing up, my family and I, we moved a lot. My parents were on and off multiple times when I was a child. I never was able to hold a best friend or have one long enough. And then on the side of VTubing, I technically don't have like a best friend because I go through times of the year where I'm not available and I'm not here, like I'm not present because I'm working and I have IRL stuff that takes up a huge portion of my time. And so a lot of times it becomes hard to build relationships. I sometimes lose track and I sometimes forget to check in on people. So during the times where people who could have been best friends with me end up being best friends with other people, and like they're friends with me, and then it's not like we fall out. It's just they end up finding their own best friends, and it's not me because I'm not around long enough. Okay, next one. Has anyone ever taught you how to defend yourself if guys mess with you? Yes, they have. And to that I will say, even if they have taught me how to defend myself, it doesn't always mean that I have to resort to violence right out the gate. What do you think of tongue piercings? Well, I've never thought about it. Did you ever date someone who was from a different culture? Yes, my attraction doesn't have a limit to certain ethnicities or cultures. I've, as a young person, thought about it at the time that, like, you know what, it would be easier if I dated somebody within my ethnicity, within my culture. And I can't stop who I love. Okay, next question. Do you cover your scars or no? I don't think so. I'm very much an open book. I think that I have nothing to hide in my scars. My scars are what make me who I am, and I don't see the need to cover anything up. I think that they kind of make me beautiful because my story of my life is the reason why I love making people smile. Okay, next one. Have you ever been dumped and why? Once I have, and that was in high school, and that's because the person I was dating, I think I was in 9th grade. I guess for those who aren't in America, 9th grade is usually like ages, I think it's 14 and 15, I believe. Somebody can fact check me. And the person I was dating was a year or two older than me. I think he was 2 years older than me. And while in school, I had already known, but people were making it aware to me that he was talking to another girl. And but you could see it. It was so obvious. It was so obvious. He even went to her house, and like the day after he went to her house, he broke up with me. He came to my house and broke up with me, and I was like, okay, like I already know. And I thought it was so funny. He got so mad because he literally told me, and I still won't forget till this day. He was like, so you're not even gonna cry? And I'm like, no, for what? Like, why would I cry? And he's like, it's like you don't even care. But I just felt like I already lost you when you decided to go to this girl's house. And who knows what you did? Because I wasn't willing to be throughout my entire time of school, I never had sex with anybody. I didn't have sex my first time until I was an adult. Like legally an adult. In your opinion, is it questionable when men don't like cars? I don't think so, but I'm gonna say this. We're gonna have a very hard time when one of our cars breaks down and none of us know what to do and how to fix it. Next question, straight or curly hair? Why not both? Okay, I got a lot of these, or at least a couple of these, so I think it's kind of interesting. Here's the first one. Would you ever take your ex back? No, I've never even once thought about it. He now has a child and he's married, and I'm happy for him. Can you really forgive if they never say sorry? I think forgiving someone allows me to tell myself that you no longer have power over me. I feel like as soon as I tell myself I can't forgive that person, then that means that I still have feelings for them. Then I've given that person the power and authority over my life, and I shouldn't have that. Nobody should have to do that. I'm not saying that you should think that way. If you are a person who has a harder time forgiving, hey, that is like totally up to you. I've been through some really dark situations in my life where even family members have done some horrible things to me. And yet I still have the strength to forgive. And I'm glad I have, because they have changed for the better and have been made new. So I just don't think that holding a grudge does anybody good. All right, tips on what to do if you love your partner but miss the single life. I think that if you don't know what to do and you're battling between loving your partner but also loving being single, I think it's a perfect opportunity to sit down and communicate with your partner. I've learned that from my last relationship. I think that if you're in a partnership, whether that is boyfriend and girlfriend, fiance, husband and wife, you should be able to communicate with your partner and tell them about how you're feeling. A lot of times, maybe what you really need is just to sit down and talk with them, reaffirm your thoughts on the relationship, or maybe whatever they say might actually fix something else that's actually bothering you. Next question. How do you feel about PDA? I think holding hands and like kissing on the cheek in public is totally fine. I think that when it comes to anything else besides those, I think it should be left in private, like in the comfort of your own home. I think even like if you like hugging, I think is also totally fine. Is it normal to just stop talking after a fight? If you're talking about, when you say fight, like an argument or a dispute, I will say that I think it depends on the person and the context. I'm one who wants to talk about it in the hopes that of a resolution. So even if I take a day or a couple of hours to really take myself out of the situation, I still want to talk about it in the hopes that we can come to some hopefully resolution. And I mean that both as a partner, but even for friends too. Next question. Where can you be 100% yourself? I feel anywhere with my friends or my family. Next question. Does having a rich partner matter to you? No. Next question. Do you try to bring it up right away or wait until you've cooled off? I like to wait till I've cooled off because I would hate to say something that I would regret later or say something in the heat of the moment. Here's a question that it was similar to one of the other questions that I've answered. Do you want your old relationship back and why? No. I repeated that multiple times. No. If you ask me again, no. If I wanted my old relationships back, then I wouldn't have left to begin with. Next question. Are you single? Yes. Next question. Are you a kind of person with trust issues? I'm going to say kinda. I'm not super crazy. I think trust issues is where, like, I interpret that as in whether you're in a relationship or not, you're constantly digging into their life. You don't trust who they say they are. You are trying to see if they're cheating on you. You're constantly trying to take their phone. You're looking into their stuff. Like, that's trust issues. Like, I don't have that. Even when I dated the 2 boyfriends that I've had in my life as an adult, even in high school too, with the one person who broke up with me, I never saw a point to ask them if they were cheating on me or to question if they loved me. I'm not a kind of person who's going to say, do you love me? Do you still care about me? I don't do that. I wish I was still friends with one of them so that they can testify that I don't do that. But, it is what it is. You can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe me. But I'm just not that type of person. If you decide to cheat on me, hey, that's on you. Eventually, it's going to come around and I'll find out. But I don't need to have to be so insecure to have to do horrible things and be out of character of myself just to see if you're cheating on me. So no, when it comes to the trust issues, I don't have it. Last question. Thoughts on people getting engaged at your age? Well, if you know how old I am, you would know that seems like a pretty reasonable age to get engaged. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the Q&A. I've never done one before. It was really fun to get to see anonymous questions being asked. And trust me, I got some pretty goofy ones that are non-relationship related. But I really did have to divide this into separate parts. A lot of, or at least half of the questions that I got were relationship-based or love-based. If I continue to get more questions by the time I do another Q&A in the future, then I will definitely divide that one up again. But as far as love questions go, you could still ask me questions. So if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, please consider becoming an Alabro and subscribe to my channel.